a new video. Let's look at what Bitcoin and the statistics are telling us. Nothing has basically changed. We still broke down here from this 4-hour downtrend, and right now we are since this weekend basically kept between this weekend low, and then this is our Monday low, and this is our Tuesday high. So very tight price action with not a lot has happened, and we are still basically waiting for either weekly high to be taken out or the weekly low to be taken out. There's historically spoken a 100% probability that over the week we will make a bigger displacement as that we currently have. So you can place your bets that either the high or the low gets taken out, and whichever one gets taken out first will tell an important story, as I also explained yesterday. Because if we, for example, continue pumping here and take out this high, that means that statistically spoken this low will become very strong, which means that the chance that it will be taken out is very low, and statistics will then show that higher prices are much more likely. The same is true for the low. Take out the weekly low right here, that low, and this high becomes very strong, and then we can look for lower levels. Right now price is still right in the middle. If we look at the pivot zones for the weekly, we can see very well that right now it's Thursday, so we are quite far in the week already, but price is still right in the middle of the weekly pivot zone. I will state it again, but the pivot zone shows you that in 80% of the weeks or the day, depends on which time frame you are, the first pivot will be made within this box, and the second pivot will reach the upper section or the lower section, depending if we have a bearish week or a bullish week. So we can see that on the weekly time frame we have a very much room to make a move. So the big question is, are we going to get a bullish week or a bearish week? I was leaning toward lower, because here we showed some weakness already, so I saw some weakness in the price. So yesterday I also took a short. Let's see, yesterday we broke this, here we broke down, and I took a short when we retested this fresh created supply. I got in on a 2-minute breaker structure. My short was around here. That's the wrong one. Short was around here. Stop loss was above the daily high because we had a very strong daily high. And then I targeted lower levels in case we would break down. Tomorrow I have, or this morning, I've moved my stop to this high for a minimal loss. So I just got stopped out. So no problem, because it was not one of my high probability setups. Normally I want to play ranges, but now I saw some nice confluence here with our strong daily high. We tapped into supply into an imbalance, also right into the OTE, as you can see right here. So if I then have statistics backing me up with a very strong daily high, then I also try to or dare to take a shot. But then I would like to de-risk faster, because I'm not that confident in my invalidation. And normally if I have a range with a Wyckoff model 1 or 2, then I have a very clean invalidation, which I have a lot of trust in, which was not the case here. So right now I'm not in a position on Bitcoin, and I also don't really see a setup right here. You could say that this is very ranging price action. So the problem with a lot of people do is that they force something because they have been waiting a few days and they want to be in a trade, so then they're gonna force something. But oftentimes that only makes it worse, because then you take a loss, and then you have been patient for a few days, and then instead of taking a win you also take a loss, which only makes the situation worse. So I'm just gonna be patient. See that we have a bit of demand here, but as I said, I want to play my ranges. So here we could say that this is a range. Maybe we distribute and get a trade. But right now this push is pretty aggressive, so I'm just gonna patiently wait. However, I will still be interested in potential setups because we have a lot of room to move for the rest of the week. So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. If we look at the daily pivots, we have a daily low at hour 6, daily high currently at hour 12. Both not really interesting hours to put anything in. So I'm not relying too much on the data. It's also important in my opinion to know when to use the data and when not. So yeah, just gonna wait. New York session has just started here with this push up. There are some warning signs for this low, so we could take out that low. And what I'm now gonna watch is if we take some liquidity, like do we take out that high? Then I want to see in the New York session, because a lot of times the New York low or the high, so let's say the first pivot gets put in early. So let's say we take this high, then break structure, then you could take a chance at a shot again with your inflation above that high or a bit higher, and that could be a setup, but it's not a high probability setup. So you need to have your clean triggers with a break structure, a liquidity grab, and then you can take a shot. But I would or take a wider stop loss or less risk. So like I did yesterday is enter here and then just use a pretty wide stop, and then when price moves down you can tighten your stop and then you are basically risk free. But overall I would always focus on your ranges, and if you have no range then no trade. But yeah, there's 100% probability that we will make a bigger move out of this range. So what I would say is that if we start taking out this high, don't like a lot of people will probably try to short this, but probabilities are highly against your against you, because then you probably get a higher low and then continuation higher for the week. And the same is for if we take out the low. A lot of people are Monday's range traders, so this is our Monday's low, and then if we take it out they directly look for longs. But statistically spoken that's highly against you, because if we take this low out you can get the bounce, but that you later take that low again is very high. So yeah, just gonna be patient for now on Bitcoin. Let's see what we have on USDT dominance. Yeah, we came back to the highs, are now rejecting. Nothing too clear to see. We had some liquidity at the highs here, so if we push above then it can go fast, but right now yeah, this also does not look too strong. Let's just stay patient and see. What's ETH doing? ETH yesterday, we are still within this range. Yesterday ETH tapped into this supply and we took out this liquidity from where our downtrend started with this liquidity curve. So we got a rejection, and right now also for like the whole week ETH has been trading in this little sideways price action. So nothing too interesting. I might be interested if we come down here to look for potential setup for longs, and otherwise I want to see this high be taken out and then look for shorts if the triggers are clear. I'm not gonna force anything. Then some other charts I'm watching. This is S for Phantom in a high time frame chart in a range, like from March 11th, so very long range, where we basically moved from the low to the range high, range low, range high, range low. So simple range trading move would be to look for longs, since we took out the range low right here. So if we zoom in a bit, we can see that price took out the lows, and right now I'm seeing this as a potential new range in the making. And then if we get up here and then later maybe take out that low, that's where I'm gonna be very interested in swing longs to potentially get a Model 1 or a Model 2 accumulation, and then target the local highs here into supply. But yeah, if you look at the bigger picture, then it could turn into a nice swing. However, since this last move down was pretty aggressive, you often, if you get an aggressive push on the first move, then it's often just a fake move. So if you really want to swing this, then it's likely that you form a range here with some sideways price action, and then you can aggressively start pushing up again. Otherwise, the quicker you bounce again, the more likely it is that it's just a dead cat bounce and you go lower again. So I would love to see a nice range formation here for potential swing longs. Then to Solana. Mentioned Solana yesterday as well, that I wanted to look for potential shorts in this supply zone. However, price never came into that level and already formed a local distribution right here before breaking down, taking this liquidity right here. So I don't see anything clean for Solana at this point. I would like to see it tap a bit lower, because we have a nice demand zone here which was untapped. So maybe if we just clean this all up, that is low, just a liquidity point. Let's say maybe we form a new range here. Let's give it some time, take out the low, come back up, and then push it up. I see a lot of hate and stuff towards Solana because Pump.fun or whatever is gonna launch a coin and they're raising $1 billion, stuff like that. But just ignore that, and I think that's actually something to keep in the back of your mind, that everyone is now becoming very bearish on it, but that's always the case on Solana. When we are at the lows, it's the worst coin in existence, and when we are at the highs, it's gonna take over Ethereum and maybe even Bitcoin. So the fact that we are at an important level here and a lot of bearish news and the sentiment is very bearish actually makes me more interested in potential longs. So let's see. For now, nothing has developed. Dogecoin, also here moving towards a important demand zone. Local range here, what I want to see is a tap into this level and then look for longs. Will be very clean. Still expecting this one to trade higher over the coming weeks and months. It's nice that we have this liquidity untaken, so that are targets. Also here, because we had this aggressive move up and aggressive move down, if you instantly get a push up, then it's often fake and then you have a bigger range. So in the most bullish case, you form your range right here, like we are doing now. Maybe make it a bit bigger, and then you can make your way up again. Because price, it's just structure. Like after an aggressive move down like this, if you go up, eventually you always get your range. So the most bullish case here is that you just form a range and then you can push up. If you already push up, then it's often a fake move. Hype, nothing too interesting. We can shortly discuss it. On the high time frame, this is our big range we are in. Here we had a nice demand zone, we just front run it, make it demand. We took liquidity here, just not tapped into this demand, but potentially if we tap into this demand level, hold this local range, it can give a long back to this high and maybe even here, but overall not expecting very crazy moves on hype anymore. Bitcoin is pushing higher for now. Let's see what's gonna happen. I'm curious, but it's also always important that you want to focus on your setups. If the setup is there, you play it. If the setup is not there, you just wait for your setup to come again. Because the most mistakes that people make are in the waiting process. So then they feel like, oh, now Bitcoin is moving without me. I need to get in, or I'm gonna short it because it has to go down. and then they take a short here, put a stop above this high, and then hope that it goes here, so they make 3.5 R, and they can erase their 1 R loss, and they still make 2.5 R, but price just pushes up, takes them out again, and then they think, oh shit, now the high is taken out, now it must go lower. Then they short it again. Why am I constantly using the wrong tool? Then they use that as their stop loss, but now statistics are against them because we took out the high, so pushing up higher is much more likely. And then they're not trading their system anymore, but they're trading their emotions. I know why people do that because I did it as well, so it's from experience. Let's just see what's gonna happen. Gold, I'm not gonna mention it too much because otherwise it's gonna be too long, but gold, extremely clean price action. Let me know if you are interested in that, and I'm gonna make videos about it soon. But yeah, clean price action. Let's see what we get for now. We also had like I was watching it. I never like trend lines, but here we had like a meme trend line with your 1, 2, 3 taps. 1, your 2, your 3, and then your 4th is almost always the break. Everything works with 3 taps. It's a magical number. So I never like trend lines, but if you have trend lines that are this clean and then with 3 taps, then yeah, oftentimes they work out. But yeah, I'm not really in see how are we look on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's gonna be important what happens if we retest this level, if we will bounce from it, and then we can actually make new highs. And if we don't, if we break lower than it, then I'm confident that we will make new lows. But a thing I wanted to mention, I was looking at this morning, was let me pick up a new chart. Yeah, I was watching I saw someone post a chart and instantly I was like, why will this not be the same? Is this price action right here compared with this price action with here? And I never like fractals because why would the same happen again? But a lot of times I'm also got tricked, is that Bitcoin is leaving behind those lows. And then I was one of those in this last push, is that people see those highs and then they must be taken out. So they're waiting for that liquidity to be taken out. And I was one of them. So a lot of people want this to be taken out to get into longs. But Bitcoin often does not do that. And right now, if you look at the structure from here, and you compare, for example, this deviation with this deviation, and you see here your low, and your low stacking up, and a lot of people, and even here we have our local lows, then it's so obvious for price to take these lows and then push up that knowing Bitcoin, it could be a nasty move to just leave those lows behind and start pushing up aggressively again, because a lot of people are not positioned for that, and then you get your hated ready again. So yeah, just something I observed this morning. Does not have to happen. We always just trade the chart, but yeah, it will not surprise me. Let's just keep an eye on that weekly high right here and that weekly low right here. If we break above this level, you can actually switch your bias, if you are not bullish already, to longs. So don't make the mistake that if we take that high that you must short it. That's not the case. But for now, yeah, price is still in the same range, so not much has changed. Also, statistics are not telling too much. let's quickly look at right here. The New York session, as I said, this low is not looking too good. We can see if that high right here, if it takes something out, and then if you get your local breaker structure, for example, with a clean looking high, that's taking out this liquidity. Did we already take it out? No, not yet. So if you push higher and then go lower and you are bearish, then you can take a shot at a potential short, but I would be careful because these pushes up, leaving imbalances behind, are often a sign of strength. So you don't want to step in front of a train. That was it for today. I will keep an eye on the charts as always and just see what happens. Don't chase the market, let the market come to you. That was it. Cheers.